good people, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of nextlevelguitar.com. Hope all is going well, and I hope your guitar journey is going famously. And today I have a lesson that was suggested to me from a YouTube user. I always say, hey, put your comments below. Let me know, what lessons you would like, how you like the lesson, how to make it better. And a big shout out to TBA, YouTube user TBA. Thank you for suggesting, hey, I did a lesson recently on some easy blues licks that anyone can play, right, over an A minor jam track. He suggested, he's like, hey, like that lesson, but can you do another one, same thing, same jam track, key of A minor, but a little bit more intermediate to advanced licks instead of like the other one was beginner licks, right? So no problem, great idea, let's do it. So these licks are going to be a little bit more technical, maybe a little bit faster, and this is over an A minor jam track. And this is a little bit more in the style of, kind of like the foot to the floor, aggressive, kind of like Gary Moore kind of rock blues kind of thing. So the jam track, we're in the key of A minor, and it's just a 1-4-5 minor key blues, A minor 7th, to a D minor 7th, to an E minor 7th. And then the turnaround, E7 sharp 9. Okay? So for this jam track, you can use over all the chords, what relates to all, A minor, pentatonic, and blues, works great, as well as A natural minor. That will also work great over all the chords. If you're not familiar with those scales, I'll put a link below to that previous lesson I did, and you could check that out. And hey, if you got a second, please subscribe to the channel. That really helps us to keep bringing the content. Leave a comment below also, and if you like the video, click the like button, gives it a thumbs up, right? And when you're leaving a comment, let us know what lessons you'd like to see. Just like this lesson was brought to you by the suggestion of a YouTube a viewer, TBA, thanks again. Maybe we can use one of your suggestions. So first we'll use this A natural minor scale to build this lick. Here's the scale. Okay, A natural minor or A pure minor, A Aeolian mode, all the same thing. So the lick we're going to do is going to incorporate some fast hammer-ons and pull-offs, some fast legato style play. Maybe something like that. There's a lot of different variations that you could do. So what I suggest is just get down some basic pull-offs first, and then we'll build up the speed. So on the high E string, we're going to do one pick per string, and the rest will be pull-offs and hammer-ons. But fast hammer pulls doesn't come overnight. It's going to take a little bit of time to work up the speed, right? So first, try just getting this, and we build from there. So on the top 3 strings, on the high E, you're going to pick at the 8th fret, pull to the 7, pull to the 5th. Then quickly go to the B string, pick the 8th fret again, pull to the 6th, pull to the 5th. And then jump up to the G string, move back 1 fret, pick on the 7th fret of the G, pull to the 5, pull to the 4th. So you get this. And try to get that up to speed, right? Because what we're going to do is we could add to it. A simple one would be something like this. That's a real common one, but you get a lot of mileage out of it. I'm picking 1, so pick, pull, pull, hammer, hammer, pull, pull. And I'll list it in the tab so you can see it. Right? And then the same thing on the B string. Pick, pull, pull, hammer, hammer, pull, pull. These patterns are great. And the same thing on the G string. Pick, pull, pull, hammer, hammer, pull, pull. Slow. Right? And then you build up the speed. And then to cap the lick off, I went to the 5th fret on the D string. Slid it up to my root note. So important, kind of resolve to those root notes. A, we're in the key of A minor, right? And there's so many variations. I mean, you could kind of do some stops in between. That time I stopped, I did a slide on the G string. But it's all fast hammers and pulls and legatos, and it sounds great over the track. And if you want this jam track to practice these techniques and devices over, no problem. I'll send you this jam track and 5 other ones, along with 2 ebooks. I call it my jam track coach. You'll see all the scales diagrammed out. I go over the jam tracks one at a time. It's an awesome practice tool. I'll send it to you for free. 6 jam tracks, 2 ebooks. Just click on that link in the YouTube description box. Send it to you for free from Next Level Guitar. So another thing that's cool is like I played a lick like this. And what that is I did a couple of arpeggios back to back. But the arpeggio I did first was kind of cool. This is 1 note per string arpeggio. Let me show it to you first, and you got to stretch a little bit. And that is an A minor 11 arpeggio. It's an 11 because we're adding that D note up top, and that D is the 4th in the key of A, or when I played up high, 11th. So it's a D minor 11. So 5th fret, 1 note is at the root, 5th fret, low E string. Then 7th fret, A string, 9th fret, D string. Kind of almost like a suspended chord, right? Then go back to the 5th fret on the G string, 8th fret on the B, that's our G note, 10th fret, there's our D on the high E string. It takes a little while to get onto your fingers, all downstrokes. Right? And you can get that down. That's movable too. Whatever key you're in, it's the low root on the low E string which determines the key of that arpeggio. But it's a really cool one. Love that sound, okay? So how do we turn it into a cool lick? When I get up to the D on the high E string, I slide all the way to the high G, 15th fret, and then I play an A minor 7 arpeggio. It's A minor 7th. I played something like that. So when I slide up, pull off 15 to 12, 13 on the B, 14th on the G, that's our A note, and then go back to the 12th fret on the G, hammer to the 14th, that's our A note on the G string. Whole lick slow. Right? So that top of that arpeggio is this. There's our flat 7th, this is a G, which makes it a minor 7th. That whole arpeggio looks like this if you want to see the whole thing. It's a really cool arpeggio. But I'm only playing the top end of it. Try to mix your arpeggios in with other arpeggios or other scalar notes. I normally don't play them all the way up and all the way down. I did that in the minor 11 because at 1 note per string, they're so spaced out, it sounds kind of cool. The notes are so spaced out. So that's a kind of cool intermediate lick where you're stretching, sliding, playing a couple of arpeggios. And here's another one. We'll do one more, but this one's a real tongue twister. You heard me play something like this, I believe. Right? That's kind of cool. What am I doing there? That's a tricky one because I'm incorporating an arpeggio and I'm string skipping and I'm skipping notes. I'm skipping thirds, actually. So this one's a little tricky, but if you can get it under your fingers, man, it sounds really cool. I'll try to play it slow. Okay, and that is actually based off of a A minor or C major 7th. Here's the C major 7 arpeggio. Right? C major is the relative major of A minor. So as long as you kick in those A notes and kind of resolve to them, it'll give it a minor tonality. So you could play the 5th fret low E string as your A, and then just play the arpeggio from there in A minor 7. And on the A, 5th fret high E string. Okay, so if we take it from the C actually, get that under your fingers, right? Now we're going to change it to this. All right, so how do you do that? Well, we're going to be skipping notes and then skipping strings. So we'll play the C note, 3rd fret. Now, instead of playing the 7th fret, which would be our E note on the A string, we're going to go to the note after that. So that would be our G note on the 5th fret of the D string. Then go back and grab the E note. And then skip over the G, play the next note, which would be this B note on the 4th fret of the G string. So you see we're playing a note, skipping over the next note, playing the next note, jumping back to the note behind it, skipping over that one, playing the next one. It sounds confusing, but once you get it, and again, all these devices I'm doing, you could do with any scale or arpeggio in any key, and they'll sound cool. So just don't think it's just for this, right? So here it is slow, and I'll tab it out. All right, I roll my finger to grab the D, because you got to skip over the G string. You got to go from the D to that B string. So I kind of roll the finger to get both those notes. And again, I'm skipping strings, but you get a really cool sound. And I ended on that A note just to resolve it. And I get a lot of questions about gear. I like to tell you what I'm using when I do the lessons. When I'm jamming over the track, like in the beginning and the end of the lesson, I'm playing through my mid-90s Les Paul limited edition standard guitar. And I'm using a matchless all-tube 3-channel Independence amp. I'm on channel 3. And I have a little bit of amp reverb. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a, fill that sound up a little bit. And the only thing by way of effects is in front of the amp, I have a Friedman BEOD pedal. And so I'm plugged from my guitar into the pedal, Friedman pedal, and then from there right into the front of the amp. And the pedal is just to push the amp a little bit harder. And that's it. Remember, these licks and devices can work with any scale. Like the legato thing I was doing, try that with some of your other scales, or use that arpeggio on other keys, right? Think creatively, play outside the box, right? Keep developing your ear, keep developing your own style. Remember to click that link below, and I'll give you the free jam track coach, which has the jam track I use in this lesson, plus 5 more jam tracks and 2 ebooks. Just click that link below. I'll send it to you for free. And also, please subscribe to the channel, right? That really helps us to keep bringing the content to you, and we're going to keep bringing it, right? I'll put some other links below. You might want to click on our Facebook page, and maybe some other lessons I'll put in there too. Take advantage of it. Thanks again. Really appreciate your support over the years. You guys and gals rock. I'm David Taub. Next Level Guitar is the place. Take care. And remember, your guitar playing is an evolution.